top 5 poker tips that the pros don't want you to know.
That's a good one. Well done, Thomas. I think my problem is I take these too seriously, and I want to try to give the best answer that I can. So things that come to mind are like, one, if you are a casual player and you're playing against a professional, in almost all cases, no matter how smart you are or how well you feel you can read that person, you're going to be the underdog. And that's something that a pro would not want you to think about. But I think is helpful for people like that. I think it's, obviously in poker, anybody can win on any given day. And that's what's great about the game, among other things. But, and I think if you want to play poker for fun and or to improve and challenge yourself, whatever the case may be, and you know that you're an underdog in the game or likely to be an underdog in the game, there's nothing at all wrong with that. And I've done that myself at times. But I think, oftentimes people play poker not having any concept of, how big of a disadvantage they're at, and are playing for reasons that are untrue. Like, oh, I think I'm better than these guys, or, oh, I think I'm, all I have to do is wait for a good hand and then they're going to pay. I'm going to win a bunch of money. And so I think that, if everybody knew where they stood, or at least where they were more aware of the chance that they are significant underdogs in the game, I think we'd lose some casual players, and pros don't like that. So that is the far and away top tip that pros do not want you to know. Now, of course, playing for fun, I feel like what's funny is I think in the mindset of poker pros, there's this like, they have a more negative kind of image in their head of basically like that playing as an underdog is a mistake. And I think it's easy because we're conditioned to think about all these things to advance our career, essentially. We just think that, a lot of people, I shouldn't say we, because I don't, a lot of people just think that, somebody showing up and putting up a bunch of money despite not knowing how to play well is like making a mistake, is doing something dumb, which in fact is not at all the case. It could be, but people play for entertainment. They play to challenge themselves. People play casino games all the time, fully knowing that they are the underdog, playing blackjack, playing roulette, playing slots. But I guess, yeah, I think people are overly concerned with like, oh, if they find out that they're the underdogs, they're just all going to go away. When in actuality, the casino industry is massive and sports betting industry is massive. Although actually sports betting, I think a lot of people think they're favorites when they're not. Like that drives it more. But the reality is, gambling for fun is a massive industry and people love to do it. And I do as well. A lot of professional poker players will gamble in other ways for fun. But yeah, they just think like, oh, and I think because of this, pros will try to not trick you, not lie to you, but, hide the fact that they play well, or try to avoid you coming to the realization that you might be an underdog. When, I think in some cases it would, lead people to stop playing. I think in most cases people are there to have fun. And the funny thing is oftentimes when two pros are playing or a group of pros are playing, they all think they're the favorite, and one or two or three of them are wrong. So we all do it. But yeah, I think, I guess what I'm getting at is, for those watching the video who are not professionals, or if you are, or semi-professionals, what I would want you to take away from this is if you want to play for fun, do it. Great. Fantastic. Have fun. And if you want to play for fun and try to improve, awesome. That's where I started, and that's where a lot of people started. But if you want to play because you think, everybody has an even chance and maybe you'll be the one that gets lucky tonight, or you want to play because you've got this theory, even though you've never really played, about how you can be better than everybody else, you're going to be an underdog. And if you want to still play, great, but make your decision with that in mind. So you're making a good decision for yourself. But as far as 4 other tips that the pros don't want you to know, and that's the main one. I think anything else is just, goes into the realm of poker tips and strategy, which I think is not really, in this, that's not the spirit of this question.